I'm Joanna Small, the Public Information Officer for the Commerce City Police Department. It's Monday, May 12th, and these are your weekend high or low lights, depending on how you look at them. This is essentially our video blotter where we give you a rundown of the most significant incidents your CCPD patrol officers responded to over the weekend. But we always like to start these off with a few fast facts. We answered 402 calls for service and made 68 traffic stops just on Saturday and Sunday. Now, here are those highlights in chronological order. Overnight into Friday, a proactive CCPD patrol officer made a traffic stop at 72nd and Ivy. During the stop, he spotted drug paraphernalia in plain view. As a result, he arrested the driver and found multiple partially smoked as well as intact fentanyl pills. The driver is facing a number of charges ranging from expired plates to driving with a revoked license and unlawful possession of a controlled substance. She also had an outstanding warrant for her arrest. Her vehicle was impounded. That same shift of officers followed up on what's called an attempt to locate that was placed on a suspect wanted for a violent felony. In between calls for service, officers often try to proactively contact and arrest individuals with outstanding warrants. These warrants were for aggravated felony menacing with a weapon, a protection order violation, and a felony failure to appear on charges. The officers contacted the suspect at a residence and took him into custody without incident. Great work, patrol. Overnight Friday, another proactive CCPD patrol officer made an arrest on a case from back in February when a suspect on a stolen snowmobile eluded him, then ditched the machine and fled the area on foot. Through investigative work, he was able to identify but not arrest the driver at that time. He was conducting a traffic stop on Friday when the passenger in the back seat of the vehicle in question jumped out and attempted to run away. The officer caught up with him and took him into custody. He immediately recognized him as having several felony warrants for his arrest in relation to that snowmobile incident. He is now facing charges for vehicular eluding, reckless endangerment, motor vehicle theft, and driving under the influence. Another good catch, patrol. Again, overnight Friday, a CCPD patrol officer responded to the 6200 block of Olive for reports of a person who was outside and unconscious. When we arrived, he found the person was unresponsive, so he administered Narcan, and as medical personnel were arriving on the scene, he regained consciousness and displayed signs of a fentanyl overdose. He was transported from the scene both conscious and breathing. Way to think fast, patrol. And also overnight Friday, officers responded to the 5700 block of Magnolia after our new camera technology alerted us to a stolen vehicle in the area. We caught the suspect red-handed loading a moped into the back of the stolen truck. When he spotted us, he took off at a high rate of speed, losing the moped and other items in the process. Policy does prohibit us from pursuing a vehicle in this particular situation, so we recovered the moped and the search for the stolen truck is ongoing. On Saturday, officers responded to a disturbance at a gas station in the 6300 block of East 64th Avenue. They took a woman into custody and learned she had stolen a vehicle, which the victim of that particular theft tracked to Thornton. The suspect eluded Thornton police and then stopped in Commerce City to get gas. That's when we were able to make the arrest. The suspect was transported to the Adams County Jail, where we discovered loaded hypodermic needles on her person and that she also had a protection order against her, which prohibits her from possessing or using controlled substances. She is now facing a number of charges: first-degree motor vehicle theft, violation of a protection order, second-degree introducing contraband, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Overnight Saturday, officers responded to a crash at 77th and Highway 85 in which a vehicle crashed into an Adams County Sheriff's vehicle head-on, then fled the scene. Fortunately, the two deputies inside the vehicle at the time of the collision were not injured. The search for the causing driver is ongoing. We were responsible for taking the crash report. That's all for now. We'll see you next time. Have a safer week, Commerce City, and remember, if you need us, we are always just minutes away.